Hey, what's going on, video guys and gals? Welcome to the channel. I'm John the Video Guy, and in this video tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys 5 easy tricks inside Premiere Pro to make text pop out from the background. Now these are techniques that I use every day as a video editor, and obviously depending on the type of video project that you're working on, you might not want to use some of these. Obviously, if you are working on a corporate project and you wouldn't want to use a nice big gaudy red stroke to make your text pop from the background. Clients would be looking at you like, what? But hopefully guys, by the end of this tutorial, you'll have some ideas for some different techniques that you can utilize for your own video project. So if that sounds good to you guys, be sure to hit the like button and let's dive into today's video tutorial. So one of the first ones is an obvious one. So say if you have text inside Premiere Pro, you can click on the text and go into your Essential Graphics panel and add a shadow. By checking this box in Essential Graphics, you can easily add a shadow. You can adjust the opacity. The key to making this not gaudy is maybe to lower the opacity and to kind of expand it out a little bit so it's not as noticeable. So you can see the before and after. It added a little bit of the shadow in here, but it's not too overwhelming. It just adds enough to separate the text from the background, and that's really the goal. The second technique I always like to use is to actually add a physical box or rectangle underneath the text to make it stand out from the background. Now inside Essential Graphics, you can do that by using the rectangle tool, and that's this tool right here. Feel free to grab that and then draw a rectangle around your text. Now when you do this, you'll notice that a shape layer is created in the top right. What you'll want to do is click the text layer and move it above the shape layer. That way it appears above it. Then select your shape layer and horizontally and vertically align it. And what you can do, similar to how we did the shadow, is lower the opacity so it's not as noticeable. So that's looking pretty good. And if you don't like how boxy it looks, you can extend these edges. And I do this all the time in my own projects where, you know, it kind of looks like a middle type of graphic here where it's not boxed off, but it kind of extends to the edges of the video. Okay guys, so tip number 3 is to dim and desaturate the background. To do this, what we're going to do is grab our text layer and move it up a layer, and we're going to create another layer underneath it called a black solid. To do this, go into your project panel and click the new item button and go into black video. Click OK and then click and drag this new item into your timeline. Extend it to the length of the graphic, select it and go up into effects controls and dim the opacity probably down to about 20%. And you can see right off the bat it added a nice kind of darkness to our background, just subtle enough to make our text stand out. Now obviously you can change this to make it stand out more or less depending on your own video footage and your own preference. Now to desaturate the background, this really works if the text is actually colored. So say if we were working on this project and this text was actually maybe a red. You know, right now it kind of blends into the background, but if you wanted to desaturate the actual background, the video, what you can do is click on this background layer, go into your effects panel and search for the tint effect. Double click it to apply it to that layer, and then you don't have to necessarily have it at 100. You can dim this down a little bit, but you can notice that if it's from 0, you desaturate it a little bit, it adds a little bit more separation in the colors. All right, so tip number 4 is to actually blur the video of the background. So to do that, there's a lot of blurs that you can use in Premiere Pro, but my favorite is Gaussian blur, I believe is how you say it. But search for blur and you'll see all the blur effects. Double click on Gaussian blur, and this adds it to the effects controls panel. And you'll notice when you adjust the blurriness, it kind of adds a nice blur and contrast to the background in your video project. Now, the reason this works also just in general is because when you make something blurry, your eyes don't really want to focus on it, obviously, so they're focused more on the text. All right guys, and my last and probably most favorite effect is to actually put the text layer inside your video background. And to easily do that, you can use the track matte effect located in the effects controls. So just type in track matte key, and click and drag it to your background layer, and then select the matte, select video 2, and you can see it puts the text inside that background layer. So those are the 5 different tricks and techniques that you can use to make text pop from your background. Now, if you want another cool text tutorial inside Premiere Pro, I show you how you can put text behind anything inside Premiere Pro. Feel free to go watch that tutorial right up here. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.